I am convinced that Zaden is the Onyx Storm here, and that he's going to be some big storm. Like, again, this is the literary version of Storm, more like the internal struggle and all that kind of stuff that they need to be strong enough to overcome, which is terrifying, especially given the fact that Rebecca Yarros has been sharing her writing vibes on her stories. And one of the songs was I Did Something Bad. And the other song was Until We Go Down, which I'll pull the lyrics from in a sec. Actually, let's just go ahead and dissect these different songs because So the first one she shared was when she was starting book 3, which is the Lakes bonus track by Taylor Swift. To be honest, I listened to the song, I listened to the lyrics. There was nothing where I was like, oh, this is meeting in our story. You all might think differently, and feel free to let us know because I might have just not been thinking of something. But I particularly want to talk about I Did Something Bad because this is also by Taylor Swift. Unsurprising. This was posted with a dagger and a storm emoji. So there she was, just kind of hinting at the title from the very beginning. The lyrics that she screenshotted were, they're burning all the witches, even if you aren't one, so light me up. Shouts to you, Bryce Quinlan. This has to be a Zaden POV chapter. I would like, how is it not? Like, the only thing that's throwing me off is the dagger, because I do normally associate the dagger with Violet. But Sealy Queen in our Discord mentioned that maybe it's an onyx dagger, possibly.
I was thinking it was more like a battle, and it's more so describing Violet because we associate her with daggers, like you were just saying. And then there's this representation of her entering her own villain era where she's willing to do whatever it takes to save her man. I'm going to be going a little bit more in detail about that in a few moments.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, another option is maybe this is not associated with Zaden or Violet, and this is actually a Jack fucking Barlow section. Like, not a POV by any means. I don't think he's going to have his own POV. If he does, I swear to that is just
I give up.
Fuck you,
I give up.
That would be amazing.
If you're new here, I have a whole stink with JFB.
Oh, Jack fucking Barlow. Honestly, it would probably be him talking to Zaden. Like, we know that there is going to be a lot more Jack in the next book. Rebecca Yarros has mentioned that old enemies when she made the announcement this morning on Good Morning America. She made the announcement that old enemies is going to be definitely a part of the book. So that might be JFB. We have a few different options to it. But so maybe this I Did Something Bad is actually Jack fucking Barlow's take.
I refuse to believe that. We'll keep speculating on who those old enemies might be in a little while, but I do also want to bring up that maybe an old enemy has to be killed with this alloy hilted dagger too, and that's where that dagger comes in. And I would just imagine that it would be Violet probably, and taking that old enemy, and that old enemy is actually the Venom, because hey, she does have a Venom enemy who we're supposed to think is dead, but I learned my lesson from Jack, so I have different feelings about him being dead.
Well, I was going to ask, do you think Jack fucking Barlow is going to die in this book?
God, I hope so. And I just want him to stay dead. I think
that's for the story. I think that's truly just for spite.
It's just like, I have personal beef with Jack at this point. Like, beyond everything else that he has done, I have beef with him.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Another song that she posted was Until We Go Down by Ruel. And the lyrics, this is terrifying. The lyrics that she pulled, and again, this is like on her screenshot. She has the lyrics at the bottom. These are the ones that were on the screen. Quote, "And I feel it through my veins, and I need that fire just to know that I'm awake." If this is not Zaden pulling from the source, it could be Jack Barlow, but I hope not. It has to be Zaden, because he's not gonna not pull from the source again. Like, he has to. Dramaticness.
Yes, I feel like it has to be Zaden as well. But I'm also positive Rebecca likes to mess with us. So, hey, maybe it is indeed Jack. Like, just because she loves to mess with us with Jack. But anyway, I do agree with you that we are not done seeing Zaden channel from the source. And every time he does, it makes it a little harder to come back and for his soul to be saved. However that might work. Oh, you know what I just realized?
What?
Maybe Nolan has to work on Zaden, since he's apparently the expert in keyword trying, to mend souls. And then because Zaden really doesn't like Nolan for obvious reasons, he kills him because F you, Nolan. We're still mad at you. Anyway, don't mind me just throwing theories at the wall like spaghetti right now.
The only thing is, I don't think Zaden's going to tell anybody. I think it's going to be so, like, there's no way even Garrick's going to know. I think it's going to be like, I think it's going to get out at some point somehow. Like, maybe, he pulls from the source a little too much and gets a little too red rimmed. But
because Violet can't keep secrets. We all know that.
She did keep it longer than we thought she would last book. We have to give her
well,
credit.
kinda halfway.
I don't think that Zaden's venonism is going to be a publicly known thing. I mean, like, even just beyond Violet publicly. Like,
I
obviously,
agree
Sigale
with
and the
you.
dragons, but I don't think that's going to be known at least until halfway through the book, like minimum.
Yes, that is a very good point. And that could also even be more Easter eggs from Iron Flame with how secretive he was being. And then it's going to turn around and he's the one who has to keep the ultimate secret in the next book.
I love it. I love it so much. So, another song that she posted was So It Goes, also by Taylor Swift. The lyrics on the page were, quote, "You know I'm not a bad girl, but I do bad things with you, so it goes." I'm assuming, considering the words bad girl, we're getting Violet right here. And we've already mentioned a Violet villain era, which I love that. I love that idea. Now, the immediate thought that I had here was like, would Zaden maybe not try to turn her, but she says, "I do bad things with you." I mean, also we also know that this is not going to be a one-to-one of a Taylor Swift song versus the Onyx Storm. Like, we also need to call that out. But I do think that Rebecca Yarros is sharing these particular lyrics for a reason. So there could be a possibility of her turning, Zaden trying to turn her, probably not. I'm leaning away from Violet going Venom. I don't think she's going to. I will happily accept that egg if she does. Or this could be some kind of heist in Besgaiath because she's still not done with school. Like, she still has to go back and take her SATs in the form of war games at the end of this freaking year. Jesus.
That is true.
And the last song we want to pull here is Vigilante Shit, also by, you guessed it, Taylor Swift. The lyrics on the page were, quote, "Lately she's been dressing for revenge. Ladies always rise above. Ladies know what people want." I mean, I don't think she's going to turn, but that's ominous.
I also don't think that Violet will turn. But like I said, she's starting to enter her own version of a villain era. And when I think about villain era, I think about it very differently than like your typical villain era. Like, she's more of a Gryffindor and Ravenclaw villain era, not a Slytherin one, if that makes sense. She would be going down this route for the greater good, for saving him, for kind of almost like getting lost in the darkness in order as she's trying to find the light. That is what I mean more about how her villain era
Yeah.
could be. Based on all the knowledge we know, I don't like, could it be the Venom? Could it be Jack? Because I'm sure she wants some revenge on him for, things. And
I think you
so
want some revenge on Jack.
why am I so hung up? He's like not even mentioned him very much, and I'm just really hung up on him right now. We're back in Empyrean, and I still have beef.